Hello and welcome into the historic Rose Hill Gym. It's time for another edition of Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports. This afternoon, the Fordham Rams will officially begin their conference slate and host the St. Joseph's Hawks. Along with Chaz, McAdams, I'm Colin, Loughran, happy to be with you as the women in maroon look to snap a 5-game losing streak. To do it, though, partner, they'll have to go through a Hawks team that has glided to an 11-1 record.
Yeah, the St. Joe's Hawks are not to be messed around, but Fordham's fared well in A10. They went to OT with Duquesne, who got first place votes. I really think that this Fordham Rams team, if they play together, if they fire on cylinders, they can get it done. But the St. Joe's Hawks are really just a fantastic program and definitely favored for a reason coming in to the historic Rose Hill Gym.
Fordham's women 5-7 on the season. We've got your starting lineups. It'll be Matilda Flood, Taylor Donaldson, Amy Hayford, Rose Nelson, and Miranda Nyborg for the Rams. Laura Ziegler, Talia Brugler, Julia Nystrom, Mackenzie Smith, and Chloe Welch for your Hawks. Hawks wearing red, going from left to right. Fordham wearing white, going from right to left. Here's the tip. And St. Joe's with the initial win. Nystrom sets up shop as point. Shuffles it on over to Smith. Back to Smith, top of the key. Looks into Ziegler in the post. Ziegler, right side post. Guarded by Nyborg. Shifts back towards Nystrom, right arc. Nystrom looking, searching. Back out to Ziegler, top of the key. Moving in, pump fake, dribble. Back out. Connects.
So unfortunate. A great defensive possession there from the Fordham Rams, but the offense just better for that three-point make.
So St. Joe's on the board. Fordham's offense setting up shop, as that was Chloe Welch with the first made basket for St. Joe's. Taylor Donaldson shifting left. Kicks to Nyborg in the middle. Back out right towards Matilda Flood. Bounce pass into Nyborg in the paint. Misses a lay-in. Rebound grabbed by Welch. St. Joe's trying to figure out their offense early. Mackenzie Smith, far arc. Kicks over to Welsh. Back to Nystrom. Right arc guarded by Taylor Donaldson. Nystrom into Ziegler. Ziegler pauses, sets, lobs one in. Off the deflection, it's going to be a made three from Mackenzie Smith. So St. Joe's, 2 early threes, 6-0, 8:39 to go in the first quarter.
Not the shot I'd see there. You usually see a better look off that baseline, but this St. Joe's team loves to shoot the long ball.
Matilda Flood, far arc for Fordham. Screen set by Nyborg, and a little bit of defensive scrutiny as Mackenzie Smith went for the ball. Official looks as if Fordham will retain possession. Taylor Donaldson set to inbound.
That's a pretty quick trigger on a jump ball there. I'd let him fight for it for a little bit.
Donaldson kicks to Hayford. Hayford moving left, charging towards the paint, puts up a layup, and it's good. Fordham's on the board, 6-2. Hawks lead, 8:19 and going.
Hayford is gross with the inside hand, especially off the left, and she loves to use the spin too. Definitely scouted by St. Joe's.
Nystrom setting up shop for the Hawks. Over to Welsh, kicks to a wide open Taylor Brugler for three.
Pass, shoot. The St. Joe's team loves that far corner.
Taylor Donaldson, mid-range J, off the front iron. Rebound grabbed by Nyborg. She'll put it up herself. No good.
Tough one there, but you really got to make your possessions count, especially if a team just keeps hitting a nice pass, light ball movement threes. You got to make possessions count. Can't have that shot there.
Ziegler gives to Smith. Smith dribbling left arc, moving inward. Kicks over for three. Good. Talia Brugler, another three. St. Joe's up 12-2 with 7:29 on the clock in the first quarter.
So it's easy to press the panic button here, especially if you're a Fordham faithful. In my opinion, you knew St. Joe's was coming out here and they wanted to shoot the long ball. They're 4 for 4 so far, and that's the only shot they've shot the whole game. That's all you have to stop right now. You stop the biggest hole that's bleeding, which is going to be the open threes that they're getting. You got to go over on all your screens. You got to fight for every single shift defensively. Make sure you know where your switches are, you know where your hedges are, and you just got to have more defensive continuity, I would say, along the arc, especially when you're facing the St. Joe's Hawks.
St. Joe's has taken 4 threes. They've made 4 threes. Talia Brugler, chief among those three-point shooters. She's got 6 points on 2 made threes of her own. Fordham trying to set up some rhythm offensively. And speaking to Brigitte Michel before the game, the head coach, she was clear about their identity and wanting to play a tough brand of basketball. They're going to need to be that tough sort of team if they want to compete against this Hawks squad.
I think they have fantastic vertical defense. They're top to bottom. They don't let three-level scorers get to their bag quickly, but their horizontal defense needs a lot of work as a unit, I would say. There's a certain level of thinking when it comes to how your rotations are going to play when you're facing a team that loves to shoot. Because usually, basketball knowledge, you grow up playing basketball your whole life, you think people are trying to move downhill. They're trying to get the easiest shot possible. That's not the case in 2023. Teams will prefer an outside look to an inside look now. That's what we see with the St. Joe's Hawks. They gave up a wide open layup for the kick out on the baseline, the far corner three we had from Welsh, that first opening basket. In my opinion, the Fordham Rams have one job and one job only to do. Don't let them get easy threes, because the threes haven't been in the face of any defender. They've been wide open.
Fordham hasn't played since December 21st. Today, of course, December 30th. That last game against Virginia, they lost 82-56. 5 straight losses for these Rams. Back in action now, truly kicking off A-10 play. They had a one-off against Duquesne earlier in December, on December 5th. They lost that one by only 2 points. So if you're using A-10 play as a marker, it would seem that Fordham should be able to measure up to one extent or another. But St. Joe's a different animal given the momentum they've accrued this season, Chaz.
It's a tough one to gauge for this Fordham Rams team. Because on paper, the skill that they have, the transfers that they were able to get, they only had 4 stayovers from that fantastic squad we had last year with Asia Dingle and Anna DeWolf. 4 holdovers from that squad. You have a bunch of new faces coming in that all look great on paper, but it's about the chemistry. There's 5 players on the court. You can't. This isn't like an all-star game, and comparing them might be unfair and might be elevating them to a level which they don't deserve. But I genuinely do believe when this team is firing on all cylinders, they can compete in the A-10. They just haven't really hit that yet.
Basketball considered the ultimate team game for a reason. Fordham will need to play as a team to pull out a victory. As both teams taking the court, and it appears as though Mandy McGurk will check in for the Rams. Here she's the birthday girl as well,
Birthday girl,
Chaz.
some birthday buckets for the transfer for Penn. Shout out to Mandy McGurk. Always a great player, great, reliable on the three, loves to play quick, play fast, and her teammates benefit from it.
Happy birthday to the graduate guard as she kicks over to Matilda Flood, right arc, gets it right back. Back towards center, overshot. Taylor Donaldson will go out of bounds. St. Joe's will get possession.
And I'd be remiss to say, if Fordham, for all the fight they have the number 1 scorer in the A-10. Taylor Donaldson, fantastic off the dribble, knows the shots he likes, a great lefty, great off screens. They just got to be able to capitalize on her scoring.
Fordham retains possession. McGurk back to Donaldson, top of the key for 3, off the rim. Board grabbed by Mackenzie Smith. Good to get inside towards the paint. As Nystrom working, gets a screen from Ziegler. Ziegler back to Nystrom. Ziegler moving inside from the free throw line, sticks it. Now 14-2, St. Joe's.
They haven't missed yet.
Hayford slicing towards the paint, left side, back out McGurk, left arc, over Taylor Donaldson, dribbling, sizzling towards the paint, back to Nyborg, puts it in, no good.
Yeah, tough play there. That was a good look. Donaldson got hit with a hard screen on the other end. She's looking to make something up for it.
As Nystrom into a streaking Taylor Brugler. Another 2 points for the St. Joe's Hawks, 16-2, 6:21 in the first quarter.
It's going to take a lot of mental fortitude from this Fordham Rams team to stay in it and keep focused. Going down 16-2 this early is not ideal, but you can't let it get to you.
McGurk, too strong off the lay-in. St. Joe's gets back possession. They'll look to general something up court. As Mackenzie Smith searching for a fellow Hawk. Works off a screen from Brugler back to Ziegler. Ziegler tries to get it to Nystrom. Donaldson got a hand in there. Playing tight defense up towards the logo. Stolen by Fordham. Here comes McGurk. Left arc, back to Flood on the perimeter. Moving in towards the free throw line. Kicks to Donaldson on the right side. Donaldson moving back towards center. Fancy dribble towards the paint. Kick back out towards Nelson. Back to McGurk. Near corner 3, no good. As Matilda Flood will get an offensive board for Fordham. She'll reset to Hayford on the far side. Hayford gives to McGurk. She'll pause at the logo. McGurk dribbles left towards the arc. Back to Matilda Flood, right side. Mid-range J. Can't get it to go. Board grabbed by Donaldson, though. Good hustle. She'll feed into Nyborg. Or that's Rose Nelson, excuse me. Nelson turns around, can't stick it. Board grab by St. Joe's. That's Chloe Welch now dribbling, forcing her way up the court. Guarded by Nelson, swerving towards the paint, back out Ziegler. Ziegler at the top of the key. Moving right, gives to Nystrom. Nystrom works over a Ziegler screen on the free throw line. Kicks left, finds Mackenzie Smith, over to Welch in the far corner. Stolen by Fordham. That's going to be McGurk, who tips it to Hayford. Back to McGurk. They're working up court now. McGurk slices in towards the paint, takes a second to collect. Kicks to Hayford, far side. Hayford back to Flood, top of the key. Flood looking left. She'll find McGurk on the left perimeter. McGurk dribbles. Back Hayford. Hayford right side. Hayford pump fake, thought about it, driving towards the paint and lays it in, but no good. Grabbed by Mackenzie Smith off the glass.
Brutal there. Fordham playing a great defensive game right now, but again, the tail of the season, not being able to get the offensive look that they not only want but need.
Nystrom. Blocked by Matilda Flood. A good defensive play from the forward. Nystrom thought she had a look at a lay-in. Fordham trailing 16-2, 3:47 left in the first
Need some
quarter.
emphasis on that, Colin. I mean, Matilda Flood, Nystrom really thought she had the easy lay there. She could get one on Flood, the kid from New Zealand. No way, man. Matilda Flood is like that defensively.
As Taya Davis will check in for the Fordham Rams. Inbounded from St. Joe's. That's going to be Welsh now running point. Kicked over to Boslett, who's checked in. Nifty shooter. She's dribbling towards the right arc. And shot clock violation, couldn't get it off. Boslett trying to find any room to work with good defense by Taylor Donaldson.
In terms of man-to-man defense, Taylor Donaldson, we talk about her offense a lot. She is second only to Matilda Flood in terms of man-to-man defense. She is fantastic there, really good at poking the ball out, making the offensive player uncomfortable.
Davis zips it to Donaldson, moving left arc. Shifting inside Nyborg. Nyborg in the paint, turns around, lays it in, but no good. There's going to be a call on the play, on the floor. Nyborg called for the offensive foul.
I don't really like that. Like, if you're backing into someone there, I don't really know if you can call offensive. Like, what if someone pulls the chair on you? You're going to get called for the offensive? That makes no sense to me. I don't love that off the shimmy.
Emma Boslett, guarded by Taya Davis. Kicks inside. Tries to find a streaking Welsh, no good. McGurk will pick it up for the Rams. McGurk finds Flood, left arc. Flood, pump fake, moving in, spins around. No good on the lay-in attempt, though. St. Joe's will set it up again. It's kicked over to Boslett. Boslett back to Mackenzie Smith. Smith working left towards Welsh. Welsh finding a fellow Hawk in the paint. And Fordham with some nifty defense there. Again, McGurk will end up picking it up with a steal. McGurk, right arc. Kicks to Taya Davis. Moving leftward, Donaldson. Donaldson, left arc three, off the iron. So Donaldson couldn't get it to go that time. Chloe Welch setting up the offense for St. Joe's. Works off a screen, and one. Chloe Welch with a shifty move towards the paint. She'll get rewarded with a trip to the line and 2 points.
A Fordham team that's been Coach Brissette mentioned before the game that this team is hanging their hat on their defense. I like that, and they since the timeout after going down 16-2, they made the St. Joe's team uncomfortable. But you got to get it done on the offensive end. The looks just really aren't there. I think the players on the floor are definitely trying their hard. I see Taylor Donaldson putting her body on the line. She just got subbed out, as well as Matilda Flood. But it's a very unfortunate when you have so many good defensive possessions, you can't back it up by scoring the other end off the turnover.
Welch makes that free throw. 19-2, St. Joe's leads, 2:10 and ticking. Fordham working up court off the press. Hayford gives to Nyborg. Good pump fake, lays it in for 2 points. So a good find from Amy Hayford. Miranda Nyborg finishes the play.
The woman in the mask. She's got a blacked out mask. She used to go clear. She's like LeBron now.
Some frisky defense from Fordham. Hayford called for the foul. And St. Joe's will retain possession here. right near us. As Gabby Casey checks in now for Welsh.
Welsh has been very strong. She's been the main offensive. They like to run the offense through her, especially coming off of screens. She's probably very tired as St. Joe's has had a lot of good offensive possessions.
Boslett, right arc. Working over, finds Mackenzie Smith on the left side. Looking for some space to work with good defense by Hayford. Back to Casey Smith on the right arc. Inside to Marina. Back out Mackenzie Smith from the top of the key. No good for three. Board grab by Casey. Foul called on the floor.
Taya Davis just used an elevator screen to block the other teammate's shot. It was an elevator coming up to the top of the key. Taya just pushed the screener into her own shooter, and she wasn't able to hit the three there.
Hawks ball. Hawks lead 19-4. 1:36 to go in the first quarter. Boslett the inbound from the baseline. Gives to Mackenzie Smith. She will stick it from the near corner. 21-4 St. Joe's. 1:30 and going on the clock.
Team loves to shoot. Their catch-and-shoot repertoire is second to none in the A-10. Fordham has to find a way to stop. Maybe go deny ball on everyone, but you need the fresh legs. Very interesting predicament here for the Rams.
Donaldson inside Nelson. Nelson works outside for Taya Davis. Far side working in. Back now, Taylor Donaldson for three. No good. Board grabbed by Gabby Casey. Casey almost poked away by Donaldson. She'll give to Paula Marina. Stands it back to Casey. Foul called on the floor. That's another instance of Fordham's defense getting a little too frisky early here, Chaz.
Calling the armbar there. I mean, not to sound, but coming off a screen, you have to find a way to fight through. And if the refs aren't letting you, you're going to start going under screens, and you can't go under screens with the St. Joe's team. You simply can't.
Inbounded, Boslett. Welsh back in the game for St. Joe's. Boslett working from the top of the key. A trap sent by Fordham. Nelson and Donaldson in a grill. And she'll get called for the travel. A good defensive possession for Fordham that time.
Love to see a big little trap there. Shows the dynamic nature of Fordham's defense and how that no matter what, in terms of man-to-man, anyone can really guard anyone.
Taya Davis working point for the Rams. Bounce pass Nyborg. Shifts it back over Donaldson. Right arc. Bounce pass over to Rose Nelson. Tried to work it into Nyborg. Tipped away and stolen by St. Joe's. Gabby Casey picks it up. They've got numbers. Slows up. Now over to Boslett. They're going to work the clock as best they can.
They love
1 second difference from the shot clock and game clock. Boslett gives to Ziegler. Left high post. Ziegler dribbles back outward. Gives to a streaking Welsh. Foul called on the shot attempt, I believe, as an aggressive look at the hoop. And Welsh has been aggressive with the basketball today. 6 points to her name, 2 rebounds as well.
Say, Lee, she's always putting a shoulder into somebody, and I mean that in a good way. Always putting a body on someone on either end of the ball.
Foul called on the floor, and then another foul called on the floor. Deja vu all over again.
Yeah.
Chloe Welsh has been everywhere for this St. Joe's team so far. A graduate student from Colorado, formerly a Davidson Wildcat, very familiar with the A-10 conference.
Yeah. St. Joe's already in the double bonus in this quarter. I mean, as it's counting out, but they've been in it for a long, long time, at least in the bonus. And the point being, it's very hard to understand because if you are playing a defensive game, if you're a defensive-minded team, Fordham's come up with a lot of steals today and come up with a lot of nice blocks, but you have to be disciplined. If you're gonna hang your hat on your defense and you're not gonna get the offensive looks you need, you're gonna have to make sure you don't make any frustration fouls, which I think we've seen today.
Welsh hits both of her free throws. Fordham trying to find something, but the clock expires. So St. Joe's leads 23-4 at the end of the first quarter. Chloe Welsh with 8 points for the Hawks. 23-4. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We'll have more Fordham women's basketball after this.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
The A-10 is in full swing this afternoon as many teams starting their conference play this weekend. The Richmond Spiders crawled past George Washington 70-66 in the first matchup of the day. The St. Bonaventure Bonnies dogged Loyola Chicago on the road by a score of 84-72. Crossing over to top 25 matchups, the Baylor Bears hunted down the Texas Longhorns in their top 10 matchup. They took this one 85-79. Utah utilizing their score as well. They lead Colorado 44-41 in third. The Iowa Hawkeyes preyed on the Minnesota Golden Gophers earlier today. Hawks take this one 94-71. Trade alert in the NBA. New York is giving out gifts for Nickmas and this holiday season as the Knicks agree to send R.J. Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, and a second-round pick to the Raptors in return for OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa. With your one-on-one scoreboard update, I'm Evan Harkin.
And we thank Evan Harkin for the one-on-one scoreboard report. St. Joe's leads Fordham 23-4, and Chaz early and often St. Joe's exploiting Fordham's perimeter defense, looking for easy three-point looks. When they don't get them, they have a simple pump fake, work their way towards the paint.
I mean, what going down 12-0 and 4 for 4 from 3 does to a team mentally is very difficult, because you want to jump at every single three, because you're like, I'm not going to be the one that gets the fifth three hit in my face. I know that for sure. And so you get easy pump fakes, easy looks. St. Joe's takes a lot of time to set up their offense. They know how to use the shot clock. Clock management from this coaching staff has been fantastic this game so far. What I think Fordham needs to do is realize the spot that they're in. They are outgunned, but they can't be outmanned. They have, I think, in terms of top to bottom, they have more people that can do more. I'm not calling St. Joe's top-heavy, but I would say Fordham is less top-heavy than them. And if Fordham utilizes their scores, if everyone ends up with 8 points in this game, Fordham will end up with the W. But you have to capitalize on the offensive end. I've seen too many times missed layups, baseline drives that end up with nothing, driving all the way cross key and not being able to find the window. Fordham needs to capitalize offensively on the fantastic defense that they played. If you're Fordham, erase that 12-0 deficit from your memory. The game started after that timeout. Keep playing aggressive defense. I don't care what the refs are saying. That's how you're going to get back into it.
St. Joseph shooting 8 of 11 from the field. Fordham, by contrast, 2 of 15. St. Joe's as well winning the battle of the glass, 13-3. We'll have to see what the Rams have up their sleeve. Hawks will inbound. It'll be Chloe Welsh near us.
Reminds me of the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA right now. 6th in defensive rating, 28th in rebounding.
What a contrast.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. So it's kind of hard to be an aggressive defensive team when you have a lack of rebounding, because you can't make up for misses.
Nystrom working for St. Joe's. Right arc feeds to Mackenzie Smith. Dribbling down low, kick back out far, but got too greedy. It tips out of bounds. Fordham will get possession.
Great again.
Or, excuse me, St. Joe's will retain possession. Yeah,
Taylor Donaldson tipping it out there. Again, she's a fantastic defender. She has been this Fordham team offensively and today defensively as well. A great ball hawk.
Laura Ziegler gives to Chloe Welch. Back downstairs. Morena tried to lay an air ball, but grabbed by Taya Davis. Shifting up court, working her way to the hoop, and a feisty finish at the rim.
Good lay there from Taya Davis. And I love the defensive possession down there from Kayla Harris, coming back from injury, knowing that she is a very nice defensive post presence for the Fordham Rams.
Mackenzie Smith, right arc. Gives to Welsh, top of the key, working leftward to Nystrom. Nystrom inside, lobs it into Ziegler. Rose Nelson defending. Ziegler, 1 dribble, 2 dribble, looks up for a shot, no good. Grabbed by Taylor Donaldson off the boards. Donaldson gives to Taya Davis, right arc. Looking for some space to work with, guarded by Welsh. Kayla Harris sets a screen, works over it, back out Donaldson, right arc. Moving in, mid-range J, can't get it to go. Board grabbed by Chloe Welsh. Welsh gives to Ziegler, top of the key. Ziegler lobs it into Marina, who lays it in for 2. 25-6, St. Joe's lead. 8:39 and ticking on the clock in the second quarter.
Kayla Harris maybe shaking the rust off on her defensive rotations. Got a little lost there. Fordham loves to run, or St. Joe's rather, loves to run their offense through Ziegler.
Taya Davis gives to Donaldson. Moving towards the free throw line. Can't get it to go. Off the front iron. Mackenzie Smith generaling the offense now for the Hawks. Moving left arc, mid-range look, no good. Off the back iron, grabbed by Taylor Donaldson. That's her third board of the day. Donaldson, right arc. Kicks to Taya Davis straight away. Davis working over towards the rim. Lost the dribble for a second. Back out to Matilda Flood at the top of the key. 9 seconds on the shot clock remaining. Now down to 7. Taya Davis looking for something. Works over a Kayla Harris screen. Shifting and can't get a lay-in to go. As the shot clock about to expire, Davis looking for some room to work with there, Chaz.
That was not a good offensive possession, but I don't mind the use of the shot clock. Fordham not being able to get good looks, but also not taking their time with them. That time they did. That shows improvement to me.
Julia Nystrom, guarded by Matilda Flood, picked her up at half court. Nystrom puts her back into Flood, back out to Mackenzie Smith, far arc, back to Ziegler, top of the key for 3, and gets it to go.
Wow,
28-6, St. Joe's, 7:17 to go in the first quarter.
This team just makes it rain from beyond the arc. Ziegler, the woman in the middle, they run the offense through up top in the high post, and she just hit a nice 3.
Donaldson zips it to Matilda Flood, left arc, off the Kayla Harris screen. She'll try a 3 from the top of the key, no good, goes off the backboard. Fordham will keep possession. As a St. Joe's defender got a hand in there. Kayla Harris checks out. Rose Nelson back in for the Rams.
Ref taking the time to argue with the coach.
Taylor Donaldson inbounds from the baseline. Gives to Rose Nelson. Just below the free throw line. Back out to Taylor Donaldson. Top of the key. Donaldson working left. And tried to lay it in. Can't get it to go. St. Joe's, Julia Nystrom pushing it up the court. Nystrom back. Marina gives to Ziegler, top of the key. Inside for Brugler, Brugler, a scoop shot. 30-6 St. Joe's, 6:26 and ticking.
Brugler's lanky, using, I would say, at least like a 6'9" wingspan to get that creative shot off the window.
Taya Davis kicks to Taylor Donaldson, right arc. Donaldson working her way towards the free throw line. Tried to find a streaking Nyborg. The ball will go out of bounds. As Fordham tried to set up something offensively there, just couldn't find an open Nyborg.
Coach Bridgette Mitchell, again, quick subs. Another two-person sub with McGurk and Hayford getting in for Nelson and Davis. Coach Bridgette Mitchell, I'm sure, is preaching effort on defense, and she needs fresh legs for it.
Mandy McGurk will inbound. Big pass, tried to get Amy Hayford, was tipped there by Welsh, but Hayford does pick it up. Working right arc. Hayford kicks inside Nyborg. There she is. Gets fouled in the paint. She'll go to the line.
Just gotta get something going here for this Fordham Rams squad. You know, like going to the line might be the momentum shift that they need. Down 30-6 right now in the second quarter.
A nice find from Hayford to Nyborg in the paint. As Miranda Nyborg averaging 4.4 rebounds per game, a bridge player from one error to the next. As she misses her first free throw attempt. 2 points so far this afternoon. Second shot, can't go. Grabbed by Ziegler. Ziegler gives to Welsh. Wells dribbling left side. Mackenzie Smith will receive a pass. Works over a Ziegler screen on the top of the key, working right. Wanted to get contact called, didn't get it. St. Joe's will retain possession, though. Good defense by Miranda Nyborg to stay in front of Mackenzie Smith.
I would say that Miranda Nyborg is probably the strongest defensive presence they have on this Fordham Rams squad. Unfortunate that she's been the only one out there with Amina Lee still in concussion protocol and Kayla Harris now just coming back. You talked about that 5-game skid. Miranda Nyborg was the only true big on the Fordham Rams for that whole skid. Very tough in terms of endurance for her out there, having to play nearly 40 every game.
Things trending that way this afternoon as well, as Welsh will inbound near us, gives off to Ziegler, or Nystrom, excuse me. Bounce pass Ziegler. She'll find a streaking Mackenzie Smith, who will lay it in for 2 points. 32-6 Hawks. 5:32 remaining in the second quarter. Matilda Flood, top of the key. Bounce pass Nyborg, right arc. Nyborg back out Hayford. Dribbles, right side, working back left towards the paint. Tried a scoop shot, couldn't get it to go. Nyborg tipped it back to Mandy McGurk, though. McGurk zips it over to Matilda Flood, who will get it back to Nyborg. Back out McGurk, right arc three, no good, off the front iron. And Mackenzie Smith hit the deck trying to grab a rebound. As I believe this is going to stay Fordham ball, and it will.
Yeah, this Fordham Rams got to really fight. There is definitely fight in this team, which is very hard to do when you're in this position down 32-6.
Hayford from the free throw line, no good. Board grabbed by Brugler. Julia Nystrom working right, tried to find Ziegler in the paint, but tipped by Nyborg. A good defensive play that time from the trusty forward.
I would say so as well, because Nyborg, even though I called her a true post presence, really at the 5, she can still really move with the guards. She can guard the 3s and the 4s of the A10. I want to take a quick sec to talk about this St. Joe's squad, though. Only 160th in the country at 3-pointers made. That should show you how bad the A10 is at shooting threes when St. Joe's is playing at this level and they're still only 160th. That's why I think they're going to be so well in the A10 during conference play, during the tournament, because no other team can outgun them in the A10. That's just a fact. What teams need to do, what Fordham needs to do, is try to beat them going downhill. Momentum, push. That's why Bridgette Mitchell, she's getting fresh legs for everyone. She's doing a lot of quick subs, making sure her girls can run whenever they need to.
St. Joe's leading 32-6 with 4:52 to go in the first half. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
What's up, everyone? I'm Julia Moss, one of the hosts of WFUV's women's sports podcasts, All In. Join us each week as we break down everything from the WNBA, women's collegiate sports, the NWSL, and so much more. We're also joined by recurring hosts including Maddie Bamonte, Taylor Masetta, Sam Bohr, and Annabelle Watson. All In is a production of WFUV Sports.
Welcome back to the historic Rose Hill Gym. Fordham trailing St. Joe's by a score of 32-6 with 4:52 to go in the opening half. Chaz, it has not been a pretty offensive outing for Fordham. For St. Joe's, by contrast, they played an efficient style of basketball.
There's a way to describe this Fordham Rams team, and it would be hectic. Because I think the effort is definitely there. A lot of the times when you see sloppy basketball, there's a sense of people don't know what they're doing. I think the Fordham Rams do know what they're doing. It's just they can't really get the looks that they need. St. Joe's defensively has been playing fantastic. I love the way they're trapping off of their screens and pushing people towards the cup with great paint presence defensively. And the Rams just aren't able to strategize a way to get around that. And then on the other end, we've seen it, we've talked about it, we've heard it, we've lived it. This St. Joe's team loves to shoot the long ball, and even when they're missing, which they barely do, I think they're above 80% from 3 this game. They still have nice inside looks because they're so tall. They're a good shooting team that's tall. You don't really see that a lot, especially in mid-major women's basketball.
Talia Brugger at 6'1". She's got 12 points today, 5 of 6 from the field, 2 of 2 from behind the arc. Additionally, she's got 3 rebounds. Has been a thorn in Fordham's side this afternoon as the Rams will look to generate some type of momentum before the break. Taylor Donaldson working up court for Fordham from right to left. Donaldson working right wing. Kicks to Amy Hayford, far corner. Back up McGurk, right arc. Gives to Donaldson at the top of the key. Donaldson working left. Dribble, moving in. And she's fouled on the shot attempt. And a good job of creating space by Taylor Donaldson there, just looking for some room to work with in an attempt to go to the line now.
What do you do when your leading scorer, the leading scorer in the A10, can't get a shot to fall to save her life? Great job getting to the rack from Taylor Donaldson, but for a team that's already struggling offensively, when you see players, your number one player on the offensive side go cold, it's very hard when you don't have off the dribble buckets to rely on coming from screens. That nice, reliable lefty jumper that I talked about, especially when she's going baseline. TD usually has it, she just doesn't today. And when that's happening, it's always a tough outing.
Donaldson goes 1 of 2 of the line. McGurk steals it on the St. Joe's inbound. Fordham was pressing. Back out Hayford on the right arc. Hayford working towards the top of the key. Gives to Taylor Donaldson, left side wing, moving inward. Hoop scoop lay-in for 2 points. 32-9. St. Joe's still leads 4-13 in ticking.
She plays off 2. I love that jump stop from TD there, man.
St. Joe's is going to take a second to reset here. That's Marina. Left arc, Mackenzie Smith. Right to Ziegler on the free throw line. No good from that spot. Mandy McGurk with a board. McGurk, top of the key. Kicks to Donaldson. Right arc for 3. Nothing but net. 32-12 now. 3:45 remaining in the first half.
That's how you get momentum back. She's the number 1 leading scorer in the A10 for a reason. Taylor Donaldson knows how to score the basketball. When the Fordham Rams are down, who do they look to? When there's 1 second left and you need a final shot, who do they look to? It's always TD. And when she's on, the whole team's on. She's a good barometer for this squad. I think this Fordham Rams squad is going to start to cook, even though they're still down 20 at the half.
Hawks 32, Rams 12, 3:44 to go in the first half. Chaz, McAdams, and Colin Loughran here. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Will Grant.
And I'm Chris Persianen.
And we're 2 of the hosts for WFUV's very own basketball podcast, Pick and Pod.
Tune in weekly for updates and our takes on the latest around the NBA, as well as exclusive insight from our very own Knicks and Nets beat reporters.
We'll have you covered on everything from all of the NBA's latest drama we know and love,
to debating all year long which team will get to lift that golden Larry O'Brien in June.
So don't miss a beat from the hardwood on WFUV's Pick and Pod.
We'll pick you up mid-action here. St. Joe's added 2 points. They now lead by a score of 34-12. There's going to be a foul on the floor on the other end, though. It'll be called on Fordham. St. Joe's will get back possession.
I don't know how I feel about calls like that because they're so hard to keep consistent. Obviously, the drop of the shoulder, what they're calling for contact there. But that gets so lost in translation when you play fast-paced basketball like A10 Women's is. It's very hard to keep those calls consistent, so I don't like to pick your poison when you're there.
Gabby Casey out to Emma Boslett. Right arc 3 off the front iron. Grabbed by Casey, though. She'll put it back in for 2 points. 36-12. 2:50 to go in the first half. Fordham charging up court. Hayford gives to Harris in the paint. She'll lay it in for 2 points.
Love the double bump with the shoulder there. Kayla Harris making her presence known down low in the restricted.
Boslett over to Welsh. Welsh working on the left wing. Gives to Gabby Casey, far corner. Casey, bounce pass over to Welsh. Back to Boslett. And Boslett gives to Welsh, front, top of the key. Bounce pass downstairs towards Brugler. Foul will be called. Offensive foul at that. Fordham will get back the ball.
Kayla Harris knows where to be in that offensive. Great. Love to see bigs taking charges. When they're playing aggressive against you, you gotta play aggressive back and play smart.
Until the flood inbounds to Taya Davis. Davis working the offense for Fordham. Kicks Hayford left side. Hayford looking inward. Back to Davis, top of the key. Screen set by Harris, working right. Davis finds Hayford at the top once again. Hayford moving inward, tried a scoop shot, couldn't get it to go down. Foul called on the floor. It'll go against St. Joe's. It'll be a blocking foul, I believe.
I'm very interested to know the referee mentality on, because you have such big players on the floor right now. Flood, you got Harris down there, and St. Joe's 1 to 5, they're big. And to call a blocking foul on an attempted box out there against St. Joe's is a little suspect.
Hayford lobs it to Matilda Flood. Flood gives back to Hayford behind her. Hayford finds McGurk, left wing. McGurk kicks into Harris. Harris in the post. Left low post. Tried for a layup, but gets fouled in the act. As I believe that'll be on the floor, though. Couldn't get a shot off. Just tried to find some room to work with. This St. Joe's team so tall by comparison.
Got jammed up on her pivot there.
Davis gives to McGurk. Far corner. McGurk working inward. Gets a layup to go. 36-16. St. Joe's leads 140 and ticking in the first half.
That's birthday buckets there for Manny McGurk. She's got two. I think she's got 2 to her name now. She's hoping to get more. Manny McGurk, a fantastic offensive presence for this Fordham Maroons squad when she's on.
Smith right wing. Back towards Ziegler, top of the key. Ziegler dribbling in, back to Smith on the right wing. Tried a 3, but was fouled by Mandy McGurk. McGurk not happy with the call there, giving the referee an earful.
Birthday tech.
And a technical foul. Would you look at that? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Here's a tech. That's brutal for Manny McGurk. I've never heard McGurk get. I love the energy, though. I love energy there, from the Fordham Maroons squad. They're down 20. They don't care. They want to stay in this game. They're trying to rally back.
Fordham trailing by 20, 36-16, 1:23 to go in the first act.
They're shooting 5 free throws now, right? 2 for the tech or 1 for the tech?
It will likely be 3 for the attempted three-pointer.
3 for the 3 that they called on, and then
most likely 1 for the tech.
1 for the
so
tech.
a potential 4-point play.
Because they're not on the bonus yet. That's all. But yeah, 4 is still a 4-point play in that. And tough there. Tough there for Manny McGurk, a player that I didn't expect to see that kind of level of passion out of, especially, but I love to, because when down 20 and feeling that sense of emotion is fantastic, and I really you hate to see that after a foul on the 3. Birthday tech is crazy, but she misses the first.
Mackenzie Smith misses her first attempt, a junior, 5'10", typically an 80% shooter from the charity stripe, and she knocks down the second attempt. And here's the third attempt. It is up, and it is good.
It's the quickest free throw I've ever seen. It's less than a second.
And here comes the 4th try for Mackenzie Smith. As I believe Chaz is right, it will be 5 attempts.
Because it's 2 for the tech, right?
4 of 5 from the line. St. Joe's up 40-16, 1:23 to go in the first half.
I think dead ball Texas 2, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, 5 free throws and possession when you're already up 20 is I mean, if I'm the Hawks squad, I'm very excited.
Chloe Wells set to inbound for the Hawks. Gives to Emma Boslett. Hayford guarding Boslett towards the logo. Boslett gives to Welsh, right side. Welsh working towards the top of the key. Back towards the near corner to Boslett, though. Gives back to Welsh. Zips it over to Ziegler. Ziegler lobs it to Brugler. Brugler, far corner. Look. That's Mackenzie Smith for 3. 43-16 Hawks. Mackenzie Smith now with 14 points on the afternoon. Donaldson on the other end. Kicks to Harris. Back to Hayford. Far corner. Hayford gives to Matilda Flood. Back to Taya Davis. Davis left side. Good crossover dribble. Back out Rose Nelson. Hayford will reset at the top of the key. Hayford knee-high dribble. Moving inward and lays it off the glass. And Kayla Harris gets the offensive rebounds, adds 2 points of her own.
Love good O-boards from Kayla Harris there, showing her presence down low.
43-18 now. St. Joe's leading. 22 seconds remaining on the clock. About 2 seconds difference between the shot clock and the game clock. As Chloe Welsh dribbling towards the Fordham logo, trying to work the time down, moving leftward now. Kicks to Mackenzie Smith, who gives to Boslett, right arc. Boslett back over to Mackenzie Smith, left side. Taya Davis got a hand in there. Shot clock expires. Game clock will expire as well. That will be the conclusion of the first half, potentially. No, refs calling it off. They're going to make them play the mere second, if even, that is left on the clock.
Wait, how? Oh, so shot clock, game clock was a shot clock violation. They're playing the .3.
.3, 43-18 St. Joe's leads. This will likely be a Fordham inbound, and we'll all head to the break. And that's exactly what it was, as Matilda Flood had a chance for a last-second look, but didn't have enough time to get the shot off. 43-18, St. Joe's leads at the break. Fordham looking to crawl their way back into this one. We're going to send it to the one-on-one studios for the halftime report with Chris Caarrino and Evan Harkin.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Welcome into the Rose Hill Studios, back here in the Bronx. I'm Chris Caarrino. Fordham Rams trailing the St. Joe's Hawks 43-18 at the half. We're going to get into discussion and analysis of this matchup in a moment, but first, it's Evan Harkin with the one-on-one scoreboard.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Around the A10, only one other women's matchup live this afternoon, and that's the VCU Rams butting heads with UMass. VCU up early 5-2. Dishing the rock to top 25, the Colorado Buffaloes stampeding past Utah. They're up 56-51. Kansas State able to win the Battle of the Felines earlier today as the Wildcats claw past the Cincinnati Bearcats 66-41. West Virginia grounded the Kansas Jayhawks 85-60 at home this afternoon. Carrying the ball over to the turf, lots of exciting bowl game matchups today in college football. Third quarter in the Music City Bowl, the Maryland Terrapins swimming past the Auburn Tigers by a score of 31-7. The Peach Bowl just kicked off at 4 p.m. this afternoon. Georgia will look to dog a battered and bruised FSU team. 7-0 Bulldogs so far in this one, first quarter about to end. I'm Evan Harkin with your one-on-one scoreboard update.
Evan, Battle of the Felines, huh?
That was my pull right there.
I like that.
This one's going to hit right
I like
here.
Battle of the Felines a lot. We can get into this game here that we've been watching over this last around 45 minutes or so. St. Joe's leading the Fordham Rams 43-18. Definitely not how Coach Bridgette Mitchell and the rest of the Fordham Rams wanted that one to take place in that first half. A start to the A10 portion, Atlantic 10 portion of the schedule for this Fordham Ram team. Definitely not the start they were hoping for.
No, and the start of conference play is a little bit more important than just this game. This isn't just one game. This is kind of the game you wanted to set the tone, and that's the opposite of what the Fordham Rams are doing right now. I mean, it seems like they really can't get anything going. There's not one specific thing you can point to and say that the Rams need to fix this. So I'm really not sure what to point to specifically in the locker room. Is there anything in particular you think that they can do to really close this gap?
Well, I think shooting the ball better is always just it's a tried and true way to get back into a ball game,
Right.
and the field goal percentage just across the board for this Fordham team is definitely not where it needs to be. Rose Nelson and Matilda Flood, they've taken 5 shots. They haven't made one, either of them. The person who's taken the most shots for the Fordham Rams has been TD Taylor Donaldson, and she's taken 9 and only made 2 of them. So in the field goal column, I think that's where a lot of the problems arise. Also, three-point shooting, only 6 3-pointers or 7 3-pointers taken in that first half, only 1 made. Is that kind of a component that maybe they should expand upon a little bit?
Absolutely, and this has been not only the Fordham Lady Rams' problem, but the Fordham basketball issue this year has been our inability to shoot the wide-open 3 ball. Even when we get it, which isn't too often, we just can't seem to knock them home, which is a serious problem in college basketball, especially when you're playing teams like St. Joe's. Chaz McAdams mentioned it earlier in the broadcast. This is a team that can shoot the 3 with the best in the A10, so if you're 1 for 7 allowing them to shoot 75% from 3, that's a losing formula right there.
Yeah, and there's other components to this as well. First game back at home for the Rams since December 2nd. That's almost a month ago. Is that amount of time away from the friendly confines of the Rose Hill Gym maybe hurting Coach Mitchell's team a little bit?
I think it has to a little bit. Too much rest can definitely cause a stagnant first half, so that's definitely something that could have played into them starting off so poorly, but there's just too much going on right now. They just look overpowered in general, which is a terrible thing for this team to not really know where to turn to fix this at halftime. I mean, they're getting out-rebounded, they're getting outshot, they're getting out-assisted. They really have to go out there with, I don't even think the mentality that they're going to go win this game, but let's bridge this gap and then focus on winning this game after that.
Absolutely. And on the other side of the ball, we got to talk about these St. Joe's Hawks. They're 11-1 on the year, obviously a commanding lead this afternoon. They will play in the Atlantic 10 this year along with Fordham. Where do we kind of see them maybe finishing around in the A10 and seeing maybe this level of talent? They've obviously shown a bunch in this first half. Where could we see them go with this group in the Atlantic 10?
Yeah, I mean, this is a statement game for them. They're starting off conference play, letting the conference know that they're here to play, and they don't care who you are, what the score is. They're going to keep going. And, I mean, like I said, one of the best three-point shooting women's teams in the A10 for sure. That you could put that on your back. But besides that, they really have a physical presence that they're showing in this game so far, out-rebounding Fordham. Right now they have 11 more defensive rebounds in Fordham, so really banging around in the paint with a team in Fordham that I think has good bigs and has been able to show that throughout the season besides this game.
No, Taylor Brugner, one of the players we talked about before we got on air today, she has been absolutely on fire for this St. Joe's team. She has 14 points, 6 for 7 from the field, 2 of 2 from downtown. She's been a game changer, and Evan, kind of looking at the game, it's hard when the opposing team's highest score is almost outscoring your entire team.
Yeah, that is a losing formula and a half right there.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were talking about things you could do to come out of the half, maybe you want to send another defender at her or put more defensive focus, transitional focus on her because she is lighting you up just alone. She has the amount of points, 14 points you mentioned, on 85%, so really seeing no defense out there. One thing we definitely could turn to is helping at the defense contain Taylor Taylor Burglar.
You got it. Some positives for this Fordham team, looking in the turnover battle, 9 turnovers for St. Joe's, only 5 for Fordham. So St. Joe's is turning over the ball a decent amount. Maybe that comes from being a little more relaxed when you're up so much and maybe the game not really being no desperateness on your part, kind of being able to play free out there. Maybe that's where that comes from, but you never really know. Maybe some of those tendencies, some of those turnover tendencies and sloppy tendencies, maybe Fordham could take advantage of in the second half. Fordham on a 5-game losing streak right now. It started at home against Maine before this road trip, and then obviously a 4-game road trip since then. But this level of importance that you kind of feel around this part of the season, is it I don't want to say a turning point for this Fordham team, but this is a very important part of the season. Definitely not good to be in such low favor right now.
Yeah, this is the most important part of the season for sure. I mean, it was rough. You play teams like Virginia and that 5. They're teams you knew you weren't going to go in and beat, but this is a team you definitely wanted to go compete against at the least to show the conference that you're coming, you're legit as well. This team isn't just going to blow you out, and they're doing the opposite right now. You mentioned the turnovers. That's kind of a bright spot for Fordham, I'd say, so far in this dark game, because they're a team that's really struggled with turnovers, probably their biggest flaw all season. So to have less in this huge blowout definitely shows a little bit of positivity from the Rams.
Absolutely, and just kind of framing this from the beginning of the in-conference season as we are at the first game in conference, Atlantic 10 play is starting now. What can this be mentally for a team really struggling to compete in your first conference game of the season? What kind of framing does that do on the mind for the rest of the season?
Well, so far up to halftime right now, it's all negative. I mean, you're going into half, you're upset. All this does is put you in a negative mindset. But one thing you can do, whether that be winning the game or losing it, is to kind of flip that by coming out of the second half and, let's say, outscoring them in the third and fourth quarter, maybe still losing this game, but having something to hang your hat on, go back into the film room and say, look, we came out of half, we realized we had to switch this, and we did it well. Let's bring this into the next games we play in these continuously more and more important conference games.
Yeah, I mean, and we've talked about what kind of is the engine, what makes this Fordham women's team go. It's players like Amy Hayford, it's players like Taylor Donaldson. Amy Hayford and Taylor Donaldson pretty invisible today for the most part. What do we need to see more from them two that can really kind of get this Fordham team going and maybe make it competitive?
It's hard. I mean, because the entire Fordham team is playing bad. We know basketball is such a team game that you really can't just throw it on one person or even two and say to go improve. I mean, I'm looking at the efficiency right now for Fordham. We have 4 players in the negative, 2 barely above the positive. So it's really just the whole team playing poorly. I would say I thought Taylor Donaldson needed to shoot at the ball a little bit more in the first quarter, kind of show her dominance, but like you said, 2 for 9 right now, so she's been shooting the ball. If you're her, you got to keep shooting though. You know who you are on this team. You can't be passing up open shots or anything for sure. Taya Davis, really a good passer. This team's best passer, I would say. I believe she leads them in assists she has for most of the season. And she really hasn't been doing that so far tonight. 0 assists so far. So if I'm her, I'm really looking to go out there and distribute the ball to the Amy Hayfords, to the TDs, and start to get this ball movement going.
Absolutely. Kind of also framing it around the holiday season as well, just trying to get as much context as we can for, such a not defeat yet, but
right.
Such a, low performance in that first half. It's around the holiday season as well. I know you know it as well as a Fordham student. Kind of what is it like having to perform at such a high level, especially with conference play rolling around during the holiday season when it may kind of feel sort of crazy right now?
Yeah, the hype definitely gets up there in Rose Hill, especially at this time during the winter. We're starting conference play. You're really going to find out the identities of both the men's and the women's team. It's up there. It's up there with the tempers are flying. The stadium's packed. I did not expect this many cars here when I pulled into campus. I was like, wow, There's a lot of people here for these 2 basketball games. So you really want to go out there and show them that they came for a little bit of something in the second half. Like I said, you don't have to go win this game for this not to be a total loss. You have to play better than you did in the first half.
Yeah, this Fordham team, 4 of their next 6 games are back at home. I said earlier they've been on a bit of a road stretch. What is it kind of like for this team now, kind of getting back home and just kind of maybe feeling a little more comfortable in their setting?
Yeah, feeling comfortable at home is definitely something that could help the Rams out throughout the conference play that you said, being that they have so many home games. So you really want to go out there and show that you're a team that can dominate at home. They haven't yet this season at all. Rose Hill has been packing the gym for them. I mean, it's no down to the fans, no down to the Rose thrill that we were able to see last season that hopefully we could see this season as conference play moves along. But the Rams really have to go out there and show up on the court for the fans in attendance, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we kind of get geared up for the second half, if there's just one thing from this Fordham team that can maybe get them back in this game or make this game somewhat competitive, one component, whether that's passing, shooting, defense, rebounding, what would it be for you that they should really hone in on maybe to see some sort of result in the second half?
Absolutely passing. You got to get the ball movement working. I mean, especially when nobody's shooting well from beyond the arc, you got to get them better looks. That's how you beat that out. Right now, 1 player with 2 assists, 1 with 1 assist. That's Mandy McGurk and Amy Hayford. That is not. You can't have that. They need to be passing the ball at a better rate, and that's what they really should focus on going out there, is making sure they have good ball movement leading to good shots. If they fall, they fall at this point,
Absolutely. When I kind of look at the box score as well, just kind of thinking about it from my perspective as well, you got to take more shots. I mean, I understand if they're maybe not falling, but if you're not taking them, they're not going to go in. More shots need to be taken for this Fordham team, and definitely less rarely from the three-point arc as well. Only 7 3-pointers taken for this Fordham team and only 1 made. They got to take more if they want them to go in and just gain some ground on this Hawks team.
Yeah, and they've been down since super early. We looked at the score was 4-16 at first, so they've been down the whole game. You want to shoot early in the shot clock when you're down. Time is not on your side, so you should not be having possessions where you don't get a shot up or you get a shot up in the last second of the shot clock. You got to go out there and get as many shots off as you can.
Absolutely. We'll see as second half action approaches if this Fordham team can crawl their way back into this matchup. St. Joe's beating this Fordham Ram team 43-18 right now. We're going to have second half action in a second, but first we have a few words from Fordham head coach, Coach Mitchell.
Chaz McAdams and Colin Loughran here with Fordham women's head coach, Bridgette Mitchell. Coach, how was your break? Good to have you back.
It was good, yeah. The team, after our UVA game, they had a chance to go home and be with their families and their friends. Our internationals had some folks that they were able to go be with and get some time away, right? And enjoy the holidays and remember the reason for the season. And so that was really good for our team.
Coach, how important you got a taste of conference play with Duquesne earlier in the season, and now you're facing St. Joe's. How important is that kind of mental reset heading into conference play?
Yeah, I think that is really important. Getting a taste, right? It's all of our even our returners. Many of them didn't play very much last year, right? So it was all of our first time playing against an A10 opponent against Duquesne. And I thought we put up a really good fight, and so just looking to build from our non-conference games going into our game this evening.
Shifting towards this St. Joe's team, they're 11-1 on the season. What kind of challenges do they present for you guys defensively?
Definitely. They play well both inside and out, right? They're capable of shooting the 3. They have dominant post presence. So it's going to take a really strong defensive game from us. We've been doing really well in terms of our steals per game. So we just got to look to be solid in the half court on the defensive end.
when facing an A10 that is so physical this year, and there's been a lot of changes on a lot of rosters, how important is maintaining your identity as a squad, like with the players that you have?
Yeah, we have been building that reputation, even how we were, ranked nationally in some defensive categories. We are building our identity around our defense, and so we're going to pressure up and do what we do. And I think that that's really important for us to set the tone and how we're going to play on the defensive end. Offensively, we're going to continue, attacking the middle. Everybody's trying to get into the middle of the court for those paint touches. We do a goal every game of how many paint points we want to accumulate each game. And this game, we're at 36, right? We want to be able to get 36 or more paint points. And that means, getting there for pull-up jumper, post touches, getting in there for layups, transition layups, anything that's in the paint. So that's what we're going to continue to do.
You mentioned the term identity there. This is the final question. We head towards 2024. How important will it be for you to establish an identity for this team going forward, especially with conference play truly kicking off now?
Yeah, I think we have one. We really do. We play with passion. Every time we step out there, we're going to compete until the buzzer sounds. And every team can expect that from us all season long. And so that's something that we take pride in, our ability to do, and we're going to continue to do that.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
For sure.
Hello and welcome back to the friendly confines of Rose Hill Gym. Along with Chaz McAdams, I'm Colin Loughran. We've got Fordham women's basketball for you. Fordham trailing at the halfway mark by a score of 43-18 to the St. Joe's Hawks, looking to crawl their way back in. Amy Hayford going from left to right will set up the offense for Fordham. Donaldson right arc, gives to Hayford. Hayford kicks to Nieborg, and she'll try from the right post. No good though, off the brass.
Fordham coming out with some energy, though. I could see it. You can see it in their eyes if you're in here in the Rose Hill Gym. Coming out with ferocity. They're not going to lose by 25, and they're going to do everything in their physical, mental, spiritual, anything in their capabilities to make that so.
Nystrom gives to Brugler. Brugler over to Mackenzie Smith, right wing, right above the three-point line. Gives back to Welsh, top of the key. Nystrom, left arc, back to Welsh. Welsh gives to Ziegler, top of the key, three, bingo! 46-18, St. Joe's leads. Just over 9 minutes to play in the second and the third quarter. Taylor Donaldson, right arc, working over a Nyborg screen. Top of the key, kicks to Hayford, right side. Hayford working inward towards the free throw line, puts up a floater, no good. Board grab by Brugler. Comes Welch now for St. Joe's. A little bit of a spin move, kept her dribble. Kicks to Mackenzie Smith. She works it down towards Nystrom. Back to Smith, right side. Over to Ziegler, left arc. Ziegler kicks to Welsh. Left side goes down low, mid-range area for Brugler. Kicks to Ziegler inside. She lays it in for 2 points. 48-18. St. Joe's leads.
I think St. Joe's is trying to make a statement. They're pressing up on the guards right now. They're trying to make a statement. All the people that are talking about UMass and other teams in the A10, St. Joe's is trying to put themselves on the map, make sure they're known as one of the best shooting teams in the A10.
Donaldson misses a mid-range J. Board grab by Mackenzie Smith. She's still got the rock in her hands. Kicks to Ziegler, top of the key. Welsh left arc. Back to Ziegler, top of the key for three. It goes down. 51-18 St. Joe's.
They're not letting up whatsoever, using their stretch five to their advantage. Ziegler just coming out with a pair of threes that Fordham couldn't do anything else to stop off those switches.
Donaldson right arc, guarded by Nystrom. Gives to Hayford. Top of the key, working inward. Gives to Nyborg. Far corner pass now for Rose Nelson. Tries a mid-range J, can't get it to go. Chloe Welsh with the rebound. Welsh moving up the court. She'll take it herself. Is fouled in the act of shooting. She'll head to the line. That's Taylor Donaldson called for the foul. It will be her third of the contest.
St. Joe's 11-1 on the year. Like you said, they're only lost to a ranked Utah team. This is their first conference play of the year. Their previous games at a neutral site versus UAB in a close fashion, as well as a dominant win over UNH. Here's the thing about St. Joe's. I think that they really have a nice squad that they can do together. I think their players are good, but they are the textbook definition of greater than the sum of their parts. The way they play as a team is what wins them basketball games, not their individuals. Fordham needs to start getting a similar mindset.
Welsh makes 1 of 2 at the charity stripe. Fordham setting up their offense on the other end. Donaldson with a spin move, far arc. can't get it to go off of a fadeaway try. Mackenzie Smith with the rebound off the glass. Smith kicks to Ziegler, left arc for three, in and out. And some fighting for the rebound as Brugler went for it, as did Matilda Flood. They'll say it will be last touch by Fordham. St. Joe's getting the beneficial call there, up 52-18, 7:07 to go in the third quarter. Ziegler, high post, left side, working on Harris. Ziegler kicks over, far arc three from Nystrom goes down. 55-18 Hawks.
Yeah, they're trying to run up the score. Yeah, they're not letting loose.
Taylor Donaldson feeds to Harris. Right low post, back out to Taya Davis. Working inward, shifting towards the paint. Blocked by Mackenzie Smith. We'll see how this is assessed.
A physical three-point shot. I'm just kind of in amazement at the St. Joe style of play. Defensively, their defense and offense don't mesh, but in the best way possible. Defensively, you expect on the offensive end that they play post because they're big and they play really physical. But offensively, all they do is shoot threes.
Fordham retains possession. Taya Davis back out to Matilda Flood. She'll try one on a scoop shot. No good off the board. Grabbed by St. Joe's defender. Nystrom gives to Ziegler. Back inside for Brugler. She'll lay it in for 2 points. Ziegler with a nice find. 57-18, 6:25 to go in the third quarter. St. Joe's jubilant at the Rose Hill Gym.
What's going on, guys? Bridge Gotham here, your New York Giants beat reporter for WFUV Sports. Be on the lookout for weekly reports and game recaps on WFUV's YouTube channel. We'll be covering the action all season long. Feel free to follow me on Twitter at BGBridge for updates throughout the games. For all things Big Blue, stay tuned all season long.
Colin Loughran here with Chaz McAdams. Welcome back to the Bronx. Fordham women's basketball trailing 57-18 against the St. Joseph's Hawks. And Chaz, this third quarter has gotten out to a hot start for the Hawks. They've just been the more efficient team in this one, particularly in the third frame. They've outscored Fordham 14-0 thus far.
A stat that is staggering to me, as Fordham only down 25 at the half, now down almost 30. So if I'm Fordham, I don't know if you're snatching victory from the jaws of defeat at this point, just trying to be a realist here on the air. What you do now is you go into the mentality of how am I going to show to the other teams in the A10 that I can really hoop, that I can really have guys, that this St. Joe's game is a fluke, and you go to the locker room and you reassess. But I think this Fordham team has too much heart to stay at 18 points for the rest of the quarter, for the rest of the 5-minute period till the next timeout. Fordham's going to want to come out and score, but they have to do it intelligently because the wild shots they've been putting up, St. Joe's is rejecting, and they're not giving them any breathing room, though being up almost 40.
On the game, Fordham shooting roughly 21% from the field. St. Joe's shooting 69% from the field. In this one, 75% from range. Coach Mitchell spoke to us before this one about the need to play tough, the need to look for a will within themselves to win games on a night-in, night-out basis. This one perhaps out of reach, but never a bad time to start building as you head towards the nitty-gritty of conference play.
And the Fordham team's playing with heart. This Fordham squad's playing with a lot of heart. I just don't know if it's going to be enough. I think St. Joe's might just be this good. Again, I talked about it during the broadcast. The physicality on defense, plus the tendency to only shoot threes, is something that I don't think a lot of A10 teams are ready for. Even Fordham's at the bottom of the table right now. I don't know if a Davidson's ready for it. I don't know if a UMass or URI. I think that Fordham in this stance versus a team that is really, in my opinion, going to take over the A10 scene this season. Fordham just got to come out and say, hey, we got to snatch victory from the jaws and feet. It might not happen, but let's play hard.
Fordham going from left to right. Hayford running the offense. Hayford at the logo. Knee-high dribble. Shifts over to Taylor Donaldson. Right wing. Screen set by Harris. Down towards Hayford. Right corner for three. Off the back iron. Grabbed by Mackenzie Smith off the glass. Mackenzie Smith with a fierce dribble up court. Watched by Matilda Flood. She'll give to Nystrom. Nystrom checked by Taya Davis. Nystrom working left. Finds Mackenzie Smith on the left arc. Screen set by Brugler. Smith works leftward, though. Gives to Brugler left arc. Back to Smith. They're playing a little keep away. Smith, left side, mid-range area. Tried it. No good, though. Good defense by Matilda Flood.
If I'm end of the bench player on St. Joe's, I'm kind of peeved right now. Like a team, if I don't get a lot of burn and I'm up 30, and I want to play non-fourth quarter minutes, I'm pretty mad. But hey, St. Joe's just trying to run up the score.
Talia Brugler tried a three from the corner, couldn't get it to go. Fordham with possession now, working up court. Hayford near side corner, gives Taya Davis, working from right to left. Eventually finds Donaldson with a corner three from the far side, no good. Board grabbed by Laura Ziegler. Julia Nystrom working herself, finds Ziegler at the top of the key, no good for three. Taya Davis wipes it off the glass. Davis takes it herself into the paint and gets it to go down for two. 57-20 now, St. Joe's leads.
Again, that Ziegler miss a couple of possessions ago, that's how you combat her length. You can't let a guard switch onto her. She will shoot over them.
St. Joe's found Brugler on the left side in the mid-range area, but it will go out of bounds, and we will get a stoppage here. St. Joe's leading 57-20 with 4:54 to play in the third quarter. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Mike Breen, WFUV class of 1983. WFUV is the flagship station of Fordham Athletics with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to Saturday one-on-one. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Along with Chaz McAdams, I'm Colin Loughran. We've got Fordham Women's Basketball for WFUV Sports in the third quarter of what has been a lopsided affair. The St. Joseph's Hawks leading 57-20 with 4:54 to go in that third quarter. And Chaz, the wheels have come off the bus, specifically in this second half.
I mean, they just played somebody called 911. I think that's what they got to do on the floor right now. I mean, what is going on with this Fordham Rams squad? This isn't UVA. This isn't Miami, right? This Fordham team is too skilled to be playing like this. I know St. Joseph's favorite is going into the game. I know they're playing physical and shooting the three very well. 75% from three doesn't happen unless it doesn't happen every game. But what you got to do with the Rams, you got to realize every individual has to look on them, and I know it's usually play for the name on the front, not play for the name on the back. They got to go out there and get some buckets. I'd start playing for the name on the back. You should get some personal wins, and if everyone's trying to get a personal win, maybe they'll start to crawl back in.
Fordham was certainly hoping for more from senior Taylor Donaldson. She's been so good this year, the New Mexico State transfer. 2 of 12 from the field today, only 6 points to her name, 1 of 5 from range. St. Joe's will inbound as that's gives inside to Ziegler, and she'll find Brugler trying to lay up, no good. Harris with a board. Taya Davis working up the court. Davis looking right, finds Amy Hayford, right arc. Hayford, knee-high dribble, working towards the paint. Scoop shot, layup, and one.
Let's get a momentum. Let's get a momentum shift.
Amy Hayford with a nice M1 play. She will head to the line as well. 57-22 now, 4:33 to go. And one look from the charity stripe coming up for Amy Hayford.
Love the lack of quit in this Fordham Rams team. That is not a look that you usually see from teams down 35, but Amy Hayford refusing to quit.
Hayford misses the free throw attempt. As it will stay Fordham's ball. Good job by Nelson to box out the St. Joe's defender.
Rose Nelson, undersized when she's playing the 5, which she is right now, but so scrappy. Her physicality makes up for it.
Inbounded, Matilda Flood. Left post, gives to Hayford on the give and go, working back towards the paint. Another lay-in try, no good. Board grab by Brugler. Brugler will give it to Boslett. She'll run point for the Hawks. Boslett to Brugler. Left arc. Gives to Welsh. Welsh, bounce pass to Ziegler. Back out Welsh, left arc. Welsh moving towards that left side post. Bounce pass to Ziegler. She's in that left low post. Stutter step in towards the paint and gets it to go. A lay-in for Laura Ziegler. She's got 15 points now this afternoon. Taylor Donaldson for Fordham. Gives to Hayford. Hayford, nice dribble, moving in. Gets it to go off the glass. 59-24 now. Fordham with a little bit of life here in the third quarter.
Pound dribble behind the back, cross the inside, scoop finish there from Amy Hayford. That's her specialty. That's the kind of momentum. That's the great shot we need. The Fordham Rams are going to get back in this game if they keep playing like this.
Ziegler on the logo, gives to Boslett. Boslett back to Ziegler, left arc, 3 off the front iron. Board grab by Rose Nelson. She'll keep it with her. As St. Joe's tried to grab the offensive board. And if you look really hard, Chaz, you can see some happy St. Joe's faces right now. They're enjoying this performance.
Yeah, I mean, St. Joe, they're a very good squad, and they were not as good as they are this year. And jumps like that usually get a fan base excited. That's when you see away crowds at a winter break game like we have right now.
Gabby Casey tried a layup, had a clear path, but good on Nelson to get in her grill. Taya Davis moving up the court for Fordham now. Right side post, gives to McGurk in the right corner. McGurk, stutter step, moves inside. Back Taya Davis, right arc. Davis dribbles, moving inward, and foul called. It's going to be on Boslett. We'll see if it was on the floor or a shooting foul. As it will be a shooting foul.
She's shooting. If I'm Fordham, I'm looking at the recipe for success, and I'm saying the last 2 times I took it into the paint on Boslett, it's been a foul. Let's keep going. Let's get some body-to-body contact, see if the refs like the way it's going, and let's get to the stripe, try to crawl our way back into this.
First look for Davis, good. Now 1 of 1 on the day from the charity stripe. 59-25, St. Joe's leads. 2:59 to go in this third quarter. Second look also goes down. Aaliyah Sneed is checked in for St. Joe's, notably off the bench, a freshman from Philly, as they'll set their offense. And Gabby Casey, stifled by Fordham's defense. Fordham pressing a little bit, but Ziegler streaking down court, now gets the ball in the paint, gives up to Sneed, who will lay it in for 2 points. 61-26 Hawks, 2:40 and ticking on the clock in the third quarter. Here comes Taya Davis, right arc, moving in. Stutter step, no good on the lay-in try. Ziegler with the rebound. And she'll take it herself up the court. Ziegler, top of the key. Looking left. Finds Casey. Casey left arc, guarded by Taya Davis. Some extracurricular activity on the other end of, or the other side of the court. As I believe that's going to be called on Fordham.
Rose Nelson blamed for physicality there. She's trying to blow up a screen, coming off of a very hard screen. A St. Joe's team that's been screening hard all game. Rose Nelson blows one up, and she's called there. It's going to be St. Joe's on the baseline.
St. Joe's retains possession. Boslett inbound from the baseline. 2:19 to go. St. Joe's up 61-26 in the third quarter. Boslett with a sky-high pass finds Welsh. Welsh on the Rams logo. Knee-high dribble. Feeds into Ziegler. She'll find Davis on the left arc for three. No. Grabbed by Ziegler, offensive board. Moving inward, puts it back up herself, off the back iron, grabbed by Harris. Here comes Hayford now for the Rams. Gives to McGurk, right arc. McGurk will set it for a second. Donaldson, left side. Mid-range area, back out Nelson, right arc. Nelson moving inward towards the painted area. No good on the layup try.
Tough outing. For the Fordham Rams, again, attacking the rack like they should, but then not getting the foul calls. They don't know what to do without contact.
Welsh slices and dices, tries a layup off the rim. So both teams have gone a little bit cold here as Donaldson charges ahead. Mid-range look from the left elbow, no good. Grabbed by Sneed off the glass.
TD loves that hezzy pound dribble, and then the quickest pull-up jumper I've seen from an A10 player. Able to get to her shot whenever, wherever she wants.
Welsh, bounce past Ziegler. Left elbow try. No dice. 61-26, St. Joe's leading, 105 and ticking in this third quarter of action here in the Bronx. Amy Hayford kicks right to McGurk. McGurk above the three-point line. McGurk bounce pass to Nelson. Nelson working towards the free throw line, back out towards Hayford. Finds McGurk in the corner, far corner. Lobs it in, but tipped away by Ziegler. And St. Joe's will turn it over. Will turn Fordham over. Welsh working. Gives right side. Casey. Back to Ziegler, right side. Gives to Sneed at the top of the key. Sneed looking left. Finds Welsh. She'll dribble down towards the paint. Off the glass, no good.
Welsh getting a lot of burn for a freshman. As I said, if I was a St. Joe's player at the end of the bench, I'd be pretty pissed right now. But as we saw, Sneed getting in the game, getting a lot of burn, good for her, and one of her probably is going to be minutes debuts if she stays in consistently.
And Nystrom will check in for Welsh, so that burn perhaps running out. Shot clock off. 17 seconds and ticking. McGurk setting up the Fordham offense in this third quarter for what appears to be the final possession of the frame. Donaldson right side. Bounce pass to Matilda Flood. Working right post, low post. Gives to Harris right above the elbow. Back to Donaldson. She's stifled by Ziegler. Harris ultimately gets a last second shot off, no good. So St. Joe's leading 61-26 at the end of this third quarter. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In the A10 atmosphere, the Seoul game is nearing half as VCU is ramming their way past UMass 21-16. The Colorado Buffaloes trampled Utah by a score of 76-65. Dishing the rock over to top 25 matchups, the BYU Cougars hunting down TCU as they lead 17-9. The Creighton Blue Jays winning the Battle of the Colors as they lead the St. John's Red Storm 11-10. Handing the ball off to college football, multiple bowl games in full effect. Auburn losing to the Maryland Terrapins 31-13, and the Georgia Bulldogs dogging the FSU Seminoles by a score of 21-0. I'm Evan Harkin with your scoreboard update.
Thank you, Evan, and welcome back to the Bronx. Along with Chaz McAdams, I'm Colin Loughran. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports. The St. Joseph Hawks winning handily, 61-26. They outscored Fordham 18-8 in the third quarter alone, Chaz. This one seems all but over.
So yeah, that's where my head's at, and I think that's where the head of the Rams is at too. I mean, you never say never. 10 minutes is a lot of time to play basketball, but it looks like St. Joe's isn't taking their foot off the gas pedal, so I don't know if the Rams can catch them sleeping. If I'm Fordham again, hate to use this word, but I'm looking to not get embarrassed. Look to get to that below 20 range, try to make something happen, make sure that the A10 doesn't forget to put your name on the calendar when they play you after this opener.
Fordham had a productive second quarter on the scoreboard, scored 14 points, 6 of 15. Unable to carry that over into the third frame. Shot 3 of 17 from the field in that third quarter. Taylor Donaldson, Amy Hayford, and others have struggled in what really is the true opening of their conference schedule. Had a one-off against Duquesne. Certainly not how you would like to begin this portion of your season. Coach Mitchell, in her first year here in the Bronx, additionally adding another layer to this equation.
I would say that for the Fordham Rams, there's a certain level of standing in the shadow. Last year, fantastic outing. One of the best defensive teams Rose Hill Gym's ever seen. You come in, 4 holdovers, almost unheard of. It might not be in this new era of college basketball, but at the time it was. And you come in and you try to hold. You have that greatness in the back of your mind. This is a new squad. We have to have new expectations and new support for this Fordham Rams squad that are trying to get it done against a very tough St. Joe's opponent.
Matilda Flood will inbound, gives off to McGurk. McGurk at the Fordham logo, knee-high dribble, bounce pass to Taylor Donaldson. Donaldson right side. She'll kick it into Harris. Harris in the post, back outside to Flood, just above the right wing. Gives Donaldson, working towards the paint. Gives off McGurk, far corner 3, and she sinks it. 61-29 now, 9:36 and ticking in the fourth quarter. Fordham pressing, St. Joe's working their way up court. Boslett will end up with the rock, left side perimeter. Working away, that's Casey. Into Brugler, good look, good finish. 63-29 Hawks.
Fordham Pulse Bears lost on the inside skip pass.
Harris gets the ball inside for Fordham, kicks out Donaldson, right arc. Donaldson, mid-range area now, kicks out to Flood. Flood dribbles in, tried to fit it into Harris. I believe it's going to be a kickball or foul.
Yeah, that's a kickball. That's a kickball, and I think that's Rams' ball too. Looking to get it at the baseline for the Rams. And as the Rams look to inbound it, you just got to start scoring here. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You just got to put leather through nylon.
Amy Hayford inbounds Taylor Donaldson, far corner 3. 63-32, 8:53 and ticking.
I told you. All you got to do is easier said than done at the D1 level.
Easy as that. Brugler on the Fordham logo will give to Nystrom. Nystrom, lob pass Brugler, working left to Boslett. Back Brugler towards center. Back to Boslett, left side. Right above the three-point line, gives to Casey. Back over to Brugler. Tries to fit it into Sneed. Casey gets it left arc. She'll try a 3. Off the back iron. And rebounded by Brugler, but tipped out. As I believe it'll stay with St. Joe's.
Amy Hayford going for the board, gets maybe over the back by a taller St. Joe's player, and is getting boxed out by a St. Joe's player taller than her, and somehow the ball ends up St. Joe's ball. Suspect call there.
Nystrom inbounds from the baseline. Harris with some good defense on Brugler. She'll steal the ball. She'll find McGurk working down the court. Transition look no good. Blocked by Brugler. So some good defense from Fordham. Better defense from St. Joe's. Welsh kicks into Sneed. Working underneath, gets it to go for 2 points. 65-32 St. Joe's, just over 8 minutes remaining in regulation. McGurk to Harris to Hayford. Hayford at the top of the key, working right, kicks to Donaldson. And that's going to be a foul called. It's going the other way. It's going to be St. Joe's ball. Fordham called for the offensive foul.
It's a legal screen on Kayla Harris, who's about to get subbed out anyway. Stuck her hip out a little bit there. You can maybe get away with the hip, but if you take that extra step, you take that pivot, you're getting called for it 9 times out of 10.
Nystrom, waist-high dribble, top of the key. Finds Welsh left side. Fordham traps her. Gives it to Welsh into Sneed, just above the free throw line. Back to Nystrom above the three-point line. Down low to Brugler, back up to Welsh. Welsh moving inward, gives to Nystrom. Kicks into Brugler just below that free throw line. No good on the mid-range try. Hayford sprinting down the court, tried for a transition lane, got hacked in the act. She'll go to the line.
Pretty hard foul there. You're up 65-32, looking like you're trying to injure someone, looking like you're John Sally on the Bad Boy Pussies that you saw MJ coming up in the air. I'm talking about the art of basketball, the camaraderie between team players on different teams. Don't know if I like that from a respect stance.
Kaylee Griffin will check in for the Hawks for Chloe Welsh. This is her first appearance of the afternoon. As Hayford will go to the line. Has not been a banner day for Amy Hayford. 6 points to her name. 1 board, 2 assists. 0 of 1 from the charity stripe thus far. She dribbles, collects herself. First one off the front iron.
And that's just the tail of the tape for this Fordham Rams squad today. Nothing able to go their way, whether it's calls, layups, or free throws now.
Second attempt. Off the rim. Grabbed by Brugler. She'll give to Nystrom. Nystrom working her way up the right side of the court. Just passes the Ram. Shifts left, guarded by Donaldson. Lob pass into Brugler. Brugler at the free throw line. Kicks down to Griffin, who kicks to Sneed, who puts it in for 2 points. 67-32, 6:56 and ticking. Taylor Donaldson, far arc. There's another foul called here. In a game that has been one-sided to say the least, Chaz.
Politically correct way of putting it. One-sided to say the least. Again, Fordham just looking to make something happen. Try to get good offensive looks, make or miss. If I'm the Fordham Rams, I just want a clean look out there, not a layup that goes careening off the side of the backboard.
Fordham inbounds to Nyborg. Donaldson now with the rock. Right wing into Nyborg. Back out McGurk, far side. McGurk working inside now towards the painted area. Tries a layup, and it's good. M1. Mandy McGurk with a nice finish.
Blow out your birthday candles on that one.
67-34, 6:36 to go. And McGurk will get a try at the line as well. Her first try at the line, 7 points today. Won't hit the free throw, 0 of 1 from the line. Nystrom guarded by Taya Davis. Fordham not showing a bit of tiredness defensively. St. Joe's. Nystrom left arc. Inside Brugler guarded by Nyborg. Nyborg gives to Nystrom. Brugler inside. Tried a layup. Good defense by Nyborg. Grabbed by Matilda Flood off the glass. Flood racing up the court. Flood gives to Donaldson. Donaldson back to Taya Davis. She'll set at the top of the key. McGurk will get it on the left arc. Back towards Donaldson. Moving inward. Dribble. Stutter step. Mid-range try. No good. Board grab by Sneed. And Boslett sets. Gives to Brugler. Low post. She'll kick and find a screaming Griffin. Back out Nystrom, far corner 3, no good. Offensive board grab by Brugler. She'll put it in for 2 points. 69-34, 5:32 remaining in the game. So St. Joe's with a masterful performance this afternoon at the historic Rose Hill Gym. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, my name is Ryan Rucco, WFUV class of 2008. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One-on-One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV sports.
Along with Chaz McAdams, I'm Colin Loughran. Welcome back to the historic Rose Hill Gym. Fordham's women's basketball trailing 69-34 in the fourth quarter of this one. 5:28 to go in regulation. Chaz, St. Joe's hasn't really pulled their starters yet. They've gone with the same group for the most part. Some like Kaylee Griffin now getting a chance to play, Aaliyah Sneed as well. But for the most part, they've stuck with who's gotten them here in the first place.
Good for them. You know what I mean? If you're, and that's in terms of again, St. Joe's wasn't here last year. They weren't in this position to be dominant. And if they want to come and say, hey, A10, time to put an extra sticky note when you're playing us on the calendar, that's on them. You know what I mean? Fordham's got to put up more of a fight if they don't want to be the ones counted out on the calendar.
Talia Brugler has been exceptional for the Hawks. 20 points on a 9 of 14 shooting performance, 7 defensive rebounds, 1 offensive rebound for a grand total of 8 rebounds, 2 assists as well. Also have to give credit to Laura Ziegler. She's been exceptional. 15 points, 6 assists to her name. St. Joe's has moved the ball wonderfully. Fordham has not had an answer on the defensive end of the court.
I would say so. I mean, Fordham, again, I guess known for their defense, but St. Joe's offense might just be that good. Because I think Fordham, we saw in the second quarter, when they put up a solid 14, Fordham was playing well defensively. They were not letting them get good shots off. Fordham had 2 shot clock violations in a row. I think St. Joe's might just be the A10 standard when it comes to offensive production.
That's a strong way to look at it, Chaz. Fordham will inbound now. 5:28 on the clock, trailing big. Taylor Donaldson, far end, will find Mandy McGurk. McGurk back to Donaldson, right arc. Donaldson working towards the baseline, gives to McGurk. Right wing, McGurk towards the free throw line, try to float her, no good. Nystrom ends up with the rock. And she'll set up the St. Joe's offense. Nystrom working inward, far side. Back to Griffin. Last touch by Fordham as Donaldson got a hand in there. St. Joe's will keep the ball.
And as the clock winds down, we just got just over 5 minutes to go. 35-point lead for the Hawks. If I'm in that locker room, I just don't really know what to say. I mean, again, this isn't a ranked team like Miami or UVA, who you played in the past and lost bad to. This is St. Joe's. This is in your conference. This is a mid-major.
That's Marina, right high post, gives to Nystrom, left arc. She'll find Sneed, or try to find Sneed in the paint. Foul called on Fordham. As the Rams not willing to give an inch defensively, trying their hardest to keep this one respectable. St. Joe's inbounds Marina, finds Boslett. That'll be a travel call. Fordham will get possession.
You love to see that there. I mean, you know, again, you just want to get possessions up, right? At this point is about how many times can you get the ball in your hands and give yourself opportunities to do well.
Taya Davis sets up at the logo. Bounce pass to Donaldson. Left wing. Donaldson moving towards the paint, turns around with a layup, and it's good. 69-36, 4:27 remaining in this one. St. Joe's taking their time, moving down the court. They're not in a rush. Up big in this first game of A10 play for them. Boslett, left arc, gives to Kaylee Griffin, left corner. Back to Boslett towards the top of the key. Back to Griffin, left corner. She'll try a 3, no good. Board grab by Donaldson. Taylor Donaldson gives to Taya Davis, right wing. Matilda Flood will receive it at the top of the key. Flood chest pass to Taya Davis. Davis dribbles once, looks for something. Far corner 3 from McGurk. It's good. 69-39. Mandy McGurk with an impressive 3 there. She's got 10 points on the afternoon.
Got the double-digit birthday score, Mandy McGurk.
Nystrom bounce pass to Sneed, just above the left post. Foul called on Taya Davis. It's going to be a blocking foul. Sneed trying to work her way inside.
It's kind of ticky-tack for situational. I know the refs got a job to do. Got to get their calls up. Got to make sure they get paid. But a bit of a ticky-tack foul to call in this situation. Wouldn't you agree?
I would tend to agree with that, Chaz. And Gabby Casey in now for St. Joe's in lieu of Nystrom, so perhaps the bench starting to thin out a little bit.
Get some burn on you.
69-39, 3:25 to play. Fordham trailing big. As As that's Casey looking in. And stolen away by Fordham. That's Donaldson with it. Big pass up the court to McGurk, far side. Gives back to Taya Davis. Davis working inward, dribbling, back out McGurk, far corner three, got it. Another three for Mandy McGurk, 69-42, 3:05 to go.
And that's what I said. This Fordham team just got to show that they can play A10 ball. Making the team that's up 27 take a timeout on you.
Timeout called, 69-42, 2:58 to play. You're listening to Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hi, this is Michael Kay, WFUV class of 1982. WFUV is your home for all things Fordham athletics, with live coverage of Fordham football, Fordham men's and women's basketball, in addition to our Saturday show, One on One. Stay right here on 90.7 FM for all things WFUV Sports.
Picking up mid-action, Aaliyah Sneed added 2 points to the board. St. Joe's up 71-42, 2:38 on the clock in this one. As here comes Matilda Flood for Fordham. Tries a layup, no good. Rebound grab by Sneed. She'll give to Griffin. Griffin working her way up court. Griffin kicks Boslett. Boslett collects her dribble, knee-high dribble, gives to Sneed at the top of the key. Over to Griffin, left side arc. Griffin finds Casey. Casey moving back towards the center of the paint. Or the top of the key, rather, gives in to Sneed. Sneed working, blocked by Matilda Flood. A good block. But St. Joe's up 71-42, 1:59 remaining. Reserves will check in. That'll be Emerson Devaney and Lizzie Gruber for the Hawks. His bench starting to thin. Griffin inbounds. Tries to find Casey. No good. Shot clock expired as well.
Cass Mahaney also getting in for the Rams. Freshman. I really think that Fordham can take the opportunity. Again, 2 minutes of basketball. Not competitive, but make it interesting. Or make it I don't know. Make it look nice. It's hard to find words and hard to find motivation, but I guess you just got to go out there and score. You just got to go out there and find the will to score.
Not the way the Rams hope to begin conference play. As McGurk, just above the free throw line, tried to kick it down low to Harris, but it just goes out of bounds. St. Joe's will get possession. Devaney will inbound, finds Griffin. 71-42, 1:44 on the clock. Casey to Griffin. Griffin working. Left side towards the painted area. Back up top. That's going to be a three-pointer that does not go for St. Joe's. Board grab by Taya Davis. McGurk, left arc, left wing. Kicks down to Harris on the motion. She gets a good basket. 71-44. She'll head to the line as well for one more.
Plays like that, plays like that you get plays like that earlier, and you'll stay in games. And you'll stay in games. You'll be competitive against the St. Joe's.
Kayla Harris, 6 points this afternoon, 4 rebounds and assist. It's her first attempt at the line. Won't go. Rebound grab by Gruber. 1:17 on the clock. Griffin, running point, finds Casey. Right side, just above the three-point line. Back to Devaney. Kicks it over. That's Bridget Monahan for the Hawks. As eventually it'll end up in the hands of Lizzie Gruber, who knocks home a 2-point shot. 73-44, 50 seconds and ticking. Taya Davis gives to Mahaney for three and gets it to go home. 73-47. Cassidy Mahaney with her first points of the contest. Fordham about to drop their second official game of conference play. St. Joe's working their way inside. Gruber, right post. That's a 3-ball on the left side arc. Good for St. Joe's. That's Devaney. 76-47, 26.1 left in this one, Chaz.
Yeah, and again, when you're coming off of this game, you gotta look at the positives that are few and far between, which are the fact that the Fordham Rams stayed aggressive. The Fordham Rams never really gave up too hard until the final buzzer, which is going to ring in 14.5 seconds. And if you are Coach Bridgette Mitchell, if you're on this staff, you just got to be looking at it like, hey, these games happen. That's the nature of the sport that we both love. And if you're in that position, you got to have a short memory. That's what they say. The greats have a short memory. You got to continue to have that and keep playing your game going into the rest of the conference.
Mandy McGurk worked her way to the line, hit 2 shots, 76-49. 10 seconds to go, and St. Joe's will wind down the clock as they'll begin their conference schedule with a bang. Fordham will move to 0-2 in conference play technically, but start the true part of their slate with a loss, and a big one at that. Hawks win 76-49 over Fordham.
Yeah, and I just want to say it was a pleasure to be on this broadcast with you, Colin Loughran, a guy that trained me when I was coming up in FUV, one of the guys that convinced me to go to WFUV Sports. Just really grateful, even though a tough one for the Rams in a tough loss. I genuinely could not be more grateful to be on this broadcast with, again, Caarrino and Harkin back in the studio too, and my favorite producer, Barbieri. Just really genuine pleasure to be on this broadcast with you guys.
Fordham with a gut punch loss. Did not shoot well from the field this afternoon, only 32% roughly. St. Joe's around a 53% mark from the field. Looking forward, Fordham will go to St. Bonaventure next on January 3rd. St. Bonaventure will come to the Bronx for an afternoon contest. And that one you have to figure from the go, you're looking for more crisp offensive looks.
I'll be shocked if they don't come out in the press. Shocked if they don't come out in the press. Looking to get energy, looking to get fast points, quick points, Fordham points.
Looking at the individual performances, Talia Brugler stands out. 20 points to her name. Mackenzie Smith, 14 points. Laura Ziegler with 15. As for Fordham, leading scorer in this one, Mandy McGurk, 15 points, 3 made threes. Taylor Donaldson struggled, 4 of 16 from the field, 11 points to her name. Not a banner start to A10 play. Fordham drops this one to St. Joe's by a final score of 76-49. That's going to do it for Chaz McAdams. I'm Colin Loughran saying so long. Let's send you back to the one-on-one post-game report with Chris Caarrino and Evan Harkin.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Welcome back to the Rose Hill campus studio here in the Bronx. Fordham Rams fall 76-49 to the St. Joe's Hawks. The intro into the Atlantic 10 conference season for this Fordham women's basketball team. I'm joined by Evan Harkin. I'm Chris Caarrino. And Evan, just a bit of a disappointment today.
Yeah, a lot of disappointment. Sure. This just isn't. This is a game that you wanted to be a tone setter, and it was the exact opposite. It was kind of a step back. So, I mean, it's not that they can't proceed to do well in conference play after this, but you really got to go sit down in that film room and see what you did wrong. I kind of want to bring up a couple of good things before we get into all of these bad things that we're going to talk about. So, Fordham's problem's been turnovers so far. They're one of the leading teams in the A10 in terms of turnovers a game. They ended up having less in this game, even though the big loss, they had 5 less turnovers. Mm-hmm. So you can go look at that and say we did a good job there. They won the offensive rebound department, lost the rebound department, but that's a good sign. You can go look at the things you did well on film and bring them into next game, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one of the good things for this Fordham team, Mandy McGurk, in that second half really played well. She was 3 for 5 from the three-point line, 5 of 10 from the field, 15 points. She was very efficient. Maybe we could have seen more of that. Maybe some more of that would have been beneficial for this Fordham team. But, yeah, just not a lot of improvement in that second half. I think we were hopeful after the first half that maybe they would fix some things at halftime and maybe make this game some sort of competitive, but really not competitive down the stretch whatsoever. and only 49 points. That's a really low point total. Does that worry you at all? Just how just under 50 points, really not good, and it hasn't been really a problem. Seems like they have been keeping up with their opponents a decent amount. Obviously, the Virginia game is a bit of an anomaly, but Fairfield game, that's a close loss. Siena game, close loss. Duquesne, close loss. Even Maine, a 12-point game, certain extent a close loss. All the other 5 games, aside from the Virginia game in this losing streak, have been close.
Yeah.
But today, just not enough points really at all.
Yeah, and there is a difference between a blowout and a close loss for sure. The feel, what you get out of it, but they did play a little bit better offense in the second half. We mentioned 1 for 7 from 3. They ended up being 6 for 14. That ended up being 42%. That's acceptable. So you shot the ball a little bit better from deep, but you still couldn't get the assists we were looking for that we said we really wanted to see. We really wanted to see a lot better ball movement, getting the ball inside. Luckily, they were able to hit some outside threes, but really poor defending the 3. If you're not going to shoot it well, you got to defend it well. They didn't do that either, allowing 52% on 10 threes made. So you really got to look at the outside arc in this one and see it as an issue for the Rams.
Yeah, they also got out-rebounded 42-30. I think rebounding along with turnovers kind of come hand in hand as problems for this team. But obviously, as you said before, turnovers really weren't as bad today. Only 9 turnovers, which in conversation in the past with Coach Mitchell, she wants to keep that number under 6. So definitely not happy about it, but for all the negatives around it, definitely isn't as bad in comparison. But yeah, just 49 points, under 50 points, definitely not what you want to see. And this Fordham team took actually more shots than St. Joe's did today, which I can't even believe that.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable stat right there. You mentioned Mandy McGurk before. I kind of want to get back to her because we saw her pop up in the second half, and this team's kind of been looking for that 3. You got TD, you got Emmy Hayford. They're kind of the 1 and 2s that give them the balls and play make or go score. And Mandy McGurk has been that 3, but she's been kind of the around being the 3. She hasn't solidified herself, but I think seeing what she could do in that second half when she's focused on scoring, focused on offense, kind of saying, I need to go do something for this team. She was able to score 15 points when she didn't have a lot going into the half. 6 steals from her as well in this game.
Yeah.
So there you go. You see a little from Mandy McGurk. Maybe she can really be into that elite category, into that 3rd spot on this Rams team and help out the ladies around her.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been a focal point for this team coming off the bench all year long. We've seen her on countless occasions really just jolt the life of this Fordham team in every single way, really doing it in all aspects. But also a good thing for this Fordham team, they shot 42.9%, basically 43% from the three-point line. You just need more threes, I think. You need to take more threes, and maybe you would have seen a definite difference on the scoreboard. But also, your opponent shoots almost 53% from the three-point line. It's going to be tough to get into those kind of games. Also, this Fordham team took 13 free throws. They took 3 more free throws than St. Joe's did, but only coming through on 5 of them. 5 for 13 from the charity stripe. Definitely not what you want to see.
No, just more and more formulas for a losing game there for sure. They didn't do well in the paint either. We're mentioning that they shot the ball okay from 3, which their games have kind of been the opposite of that leading up to this. They would play well in the paint and shoot terribly from 3. So the exact flip, you want to find a good medium, a nice mix to get in the middle of that. Like I said, they were outscored in the paint by 12 points from St. Joe's. They had 7 less second chance points, so really just couldn't get it done in the paint. When they're getting it done in the paint, they can't from 3. Vice versa. You got to find a way to put it all together on offense to fix the offensive struggles.
Yeah, I mean, this Fordham team didn't have one lead in this entire game. They trailed the entire way. Just kind of looking to the future now for a little bit, Evan, just kind of looking at the rest of the conference schedule coming up. Obviously, next game against St. Bonaventure, but the rest of their A10 conference schedule in front of them. What should they kind of take from this experience and maybe in general the experience of this losing streak kind of pushing forward, maybe using it in a positive way for the rest of the season?
Yeah, there's not too many positives to take away from a first blowout. It's rough to go back and see the things we did well, but kind of like we said, I think this might have been their best shooting game in the end from 3, and that's a game that they were 1 for 7 in at half. So really look into that second half. Maybe it was the ball movement. Maybe it was taking an extra second before you shoot an open 3. Try to find what exactly it was that helped this team shoot so well from 3 that we haven't seen in the second half, and take that into the next couple of games.
No, absolutely. I agree. Taking anything you can, even the hurt of these games and the frustration, that could also be very beneficial as well. But that's going to do it for us here in the Fordham Rose Hill studios. Just want to give a couple quick thanks. Kurt Sipple on highlights back there. Ralph Barbieri back there. Of course. I just love seeing his face as he walks by. Of course, Evan Harkin helping me out here as well, co-hosting with me. Ralph Barbieri, as I said, producing back there. Our sports director, Bobby Chaffardini, is somewhere around here as well. We had a great crew on our game today. Want to wish everybody listening a great rest of your holiday weekend and a happy new year as well. And from the Bronx and the Fordham Rose Hill studios, have a great rest of your day, everybody.